Young and the Restless, Sharon Snaps and 5 Lives in Danger. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless spoilers see Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, losing her grip on reality, and it's only getting worse. She's yelling at people, making threats, and soon, someone's life could be in danger. Maybe even more than one person is at risk. Young and the Restless spoilers, Sharon Newman spirals, lives at risk. I've got 5 characters who might not make it out of this messy Y&R plot alive. First up, Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziadei. He was part of the crash that killed Cassie Newman, Cameron Grimes, and Sharon just dreamed that he died instead. With the lines blurring between reality and fantasy, Sharon might try to kill Daniel, thinking it'll bring Cassie back. Next on the list is Lucy Romalotti, Lily Brooks O'Brien. Sharon sees her as a mini Daniel, blaming him for Cassie's death. With Lucy sneaking around and drinking, Sharon could easily trick her into meeting up and drive her to her doom. On Young and the Restless, Y&R spoilers, Phyllis Summers' family targeted, who dies? Third is Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. She's been warning Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, about Sharon's mental state. If Sharon targets Phyllis's family, she might snap. Phyllis could end up in a car with Daniel and Lucy, with Sharon holding a gun. Let's not forget on Young and the Restless about Heather Stevens, Vale Bloom, as a target. Sharon raged at her and Daniel over Lucy's behavior. She might rig a car full of the Romalotti family and send them off a cliff. Lastly, Sharon herself is in danger. She might get in the car with her targets, thinking she needs to be behind the wheel to reset everything and bring Cassie back. With Sharon's 30th anniversary on Y&R coming up on September 21st, we might see the big finale to this storyline then. Daniel, Heather, and Lucy might be expendable, but Sharon and Phyllis will likely. A hush had fallen over Genoa City. Spring sunlight filtered through the curtains of crimson lights, casting elongated shadows on the wooden floor. The scent of espresso, lilacs, and something darker hung in the air. Beneath the polished surfaces and polite exchanges, a storm was brewing, a storm with Sharon Rosales at its epicenter. For weeks, Sharon had held herself together. She'd endured the whispers, the suspicious glances, and the half-truths slung her way like stones. The cafe had become her fortress, but even the strongest walls crack under enough pressure. It started with a letter, folded neatly, tucked in the back of an old psychology book she hadn't touched in years. The letter wasn't dated, but it was unmistakably Adam's handwriting. The words were cryptic, a mix of warning and confession, laced with bitterness and regret. He had been watching. He had known something before anyone else. And now, he was gone, no word, no trace. Vanished. Sharon read it once, then twice, and a third time with trembling fingers. Her breath hitched. Her chest tightened. Something inside her mind clicked, like a switch flipping. And that was the beginning of the unraveling. She stopped going to her therapy sessions. She ignored Ray's calls, then blocked his number. Mariah came by, concerned, but Sharon greeted her with a forced smile and hollow words. Her eyes, once sharp and compassionate, had dulled to a glassy shimmer of obsession. She wasn't just chasing ghosts, she was becoming one. Day by day, her demeanor grew more distant, her movements more calculated. She worked with an eerie calm, pouring coffee and wiping tables with mechanical precision. But when alone, she retreated to the back room, where she pored over Adam's letter like it held the key to salvation or destruction. Then came the list. 5 names. Written in red ink on the back of a receipt. Victoria. Nick. Chelsea. Phyllis. Faith. 5 lives. 5 connections. 5 betrayals, in Sharon's fractured mind. Victoria, always smug, always superior, constantly undermining her. Nick, her on-again, off-again love, a lighthouse in a storm who had now become just another flash of false hope. Chelsea, manipulative, conniving, and all too involved with Adam. Phyllis, her eternal rival, never missing a chance to twist the knife. And Faith, her own daughter, who had recently confronted her about the erratic behavior, the empty gazes, and the sleepless nights. Sharon pinned the list on the corkboard above her desk, next to Adam's letter. Her mind, now consumed by fragmented thoughts and fractured logic, began to weave a dangerous tapestry. In her reality, each of them had taken something from her. And now, she would take something back. Victoria was first. It was easy, really. Sharon knew her schedule, her favorite spa, even her wine preferences. She also knew about the ongoing construction at the Newman Tower. A wing left unfinished, with security cameras down for the week. Sharon walked those dim corridors with silent intent, carrying nothing but a slim envelope and a bottle of wine infused with just enough diazepam to disarm the most resilient mind. She left the envelope on Victoria's desk, along with the wine, under the guise of a truce. Victoria never saw her. The trap was laid, the bait chosen specifically for her vanity. Sharon watched from a dark corner as Victoria entered the room, uncorked the bottle, and poured herself a glass. One sip. Sharon turned and walked away. Next was Chelsea. The blonde had been spending more time at society, always just within reach of power, always scheming. Sharon had no proof, but in her delusions, Chelsea was the mastermind, the one who had lured Adam away, the one who whispered poison in the ears of everyone Sharon once trusted. So she followed her. One night, as Chelsea walked to her car in the darkened lot behind the restaurant, Sharon appeared. Silent. Still. She watched Chelsea fumble for her keys, caught off guard by the sudden hum of headlights turning on. Chelsea froze. The engine revved. But Sharon didn't move. She simply watched her panic rise, saw the way fear bloomed in her eyes, before vanishing into the shadows once more. It wasn't time. Not yet. Fear would do more than action ever could. Phyllis was never an easy target. But she had a weakness, her ego. Sharon sent an anonymous message, inviting her to an exclusive influencer salon event, claiming it was for Genoa City's most elite women. She knew Phyllis wouldn't resist flaunting herself. And she didn't disappoint. When Phyllis arrived at the abandoned penthouse on the city's edge, she found a table set for one. Candles flickered. A record played a haunting piano piece on loop. But the doors were locked behind her. No phone signal. No exit. Hours passed before anyone noticed she was missing. Sharon, meanwhile, returned to the cafe, poured herself a latte, and stared out the window with a subtle smile. One more pawn silenced. Nick's turn came unexpectedly. She hadn't planned on seeing him that day, but fate offered her a chance. He walked into crimson lights, looking for Faith, unaware that Sharon was watching from the back. He looked tired. Worn down. Guilt clung to his features like a second skin. Sharon walked out slowly, brushing her fingers over the counter, locking eyes with him. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came. She stepped closer. Their faces inches apart. No accusations. No violence. Just silence. Then she whispered something into his ear, something that drained the color from his face. He left without a word. The damage was done, and then, there was Faith. Sharon's spiral had once spared her daughter. But now, her twisted logic saw betrayal in her eyes too. Faith had spoken to Ray. Had tried to stage an intervention. Had called her unwell. To Sharon, it was the ultimate betrayal. But something stopped her.